everyone! Today I want to show you a variation on a flower that you can make using template number 8. And so this one I wanted to go with the two-tone look. I should have uploaded a video on how I made this flower center, and so I wanted to have it ready. I'm just going to set it off to the side for now. But as I said, I wanted to go for the two-tone look, and I have an octagon here. I think before I used a hexagon, so this is just another style and way you could put together the petals to make a different looking flower. So what I have in terms of petals is in this hot pink or fuchsia color. I have a 5-inch wide petal, and then this is a 4.5 inch. This is also 4.5 inch. They're both the same size, but this is so that I can layer it completely over and get that two-tone look. So I have 5 inches in the largest size, the darker pink or fuchsia, and I have 4.5 inches, 4.5 inches, and this one is 4 inches. This one will go in front of this one for one of the smaller layers. So I just want to go through that in case someone has template 8 and wants to use the same sizes that I did. This is an 8-inch wide octagon. So just to go through that really quickly, this is 5 inches, 4.5, 4.5, and 4. And so what I wanted to do is a two-tone look. And the way that I want to glue those, I'm just going to put this up here, is using glue sticks rather than the hot glue gun. The hot glue can be difficult to work with. I'm going to use every opportunity that I can not to burn myself, and so I have glue sticks here. This is just wrinkle-free glue stick, and I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to the petals and then center it. And that's the way it should look. The way that my templates work is that they are in 1/2 inch increments, a 1/2 inch wide increments. So this is, usually there's a 5-inch petal, 4.5, and then a 4. And so you can use 2 consecutive sizes to get this look. Or you can, I'm not sure if you'd like to, but since this is 4 and this is 5 inches, might be too much, but if you wanted something to look like this would also work. But I will be gluing every single piece like this, and I'll just kind of fast forward that because it can be a long process. So I'll just go ahead and start gluing. And really quickly, one thing I forgot to mention is I actually have 2 layers for each. So there's 16 of this 5-inch wide, 16 of these, 16 of these, and 16 of these. I want 2 layers of both sides, both sizes. So I wanted to mention that before I forget. Alright, so what I want to do now is I'll lay it out to kind of show you what it would look like around the octagon. And I'm having trouble deciding whether I want to make a fold in the petals or not. But if I did want to make it a fold in the petals, then at least you can see an idea of what it looks like without the fold in the petals. So it looks, well, let me see. This is what I like about playing with the different template so you can get different looks if you'd like. And then I would put this in the middle. When I'm talking about having a fold in the middle, I mean actually folding this in half, giving it a crease in the middle. And I can't decide if I'd like that or not. Maybe for this one I'm going to skip it. Alright, I'm not sure what happened, but my camera stopped filming, and so that's why there's a jump. But I was talking while that was happening. I think I didn't realize the camera shut off, but I decided that I don't want to have a crease in the petal. I think I have an example. So what I mean is, here's a petal that I was playing around with, an idea, and essentially it's the same thing, but the colors are reversed. Let me just glue it really quickly. Together. And so it has a slit down the middle that I'll be doing for those, but essentially what I do is fold it in half so that there's a crease, and then glue the two flaps together. And then this would be the petal all throughout. And I cannot decide whether I want the crease or I do not want the crease. But I decided eventually that I'll just play it safe in case I don't like the full look, to leave the crease out. But that's always an option that you can do. So now that I have these petals prepped, it's just a matter of getting that cut in the middle and then gluing it. So about 1.5 inches. I'm doing 2 at a time. For this one, you should cut it slightly longer than the smaller petal, just by a little. I don't measure so that it's exact, but close enough. I just eyeball it. Okay, a couple more cuts. Alright, so now I have to start gluing the petals together, or the two flaps that were created. This gives the petal a little bit of a lift. So in folding that, I just overlapped it maybe by 1/2 inch. And it's very easy to play around and then see what type of lift from the crease that you want. So if I just did it slightly, it would just give it a small slight lift up. But if I could also do it so that it overlaps more and then it sits upright. So just play around with different looks that you like. So for the smaller petals, I'm going to put them off to the side for now. add just a line of glue to the bottom and then glue it to the base. You can play around with where you want to glue the petals. So you can have it further towards the center, closer to the edge. I'm doing it so that there's still a small space in between. It's about ½ inch in. So where the petal touches, it's about ½ inch from the tip of the petal to the edge of the base. And with this video, I'm just trying to show you that there are a number of variations you can do with the same petal shape, whether you use my templates or create your own or somebody else's. Just by varying the base, changing the colors, or manipulating it in a different way, you can get a different look. My first impression is that I'm glad I did not do the fold that I was talking about here, but I also might have liked it, but I do like the way that it looks currently. So I'm going to add another layer right next to, right in between the petals from the previous layer, just slightly towards the center, so it's moved up just a little. I wanted to do 2 layers of the same size petals so that it looked even. Previously I've been doing petals with sizes that are smaller and smaller towards the middle. So like, for instance, 5 inches wide and then 4½ inches wide and then 4 inches wide. But here I did 2 layers of the same size petal. It'll also be 2 layers of this size petal. I didn't mention it while I was doing it, but the slit that I made in between the petals, the longer the slit that you make into it, the more the petal lays flat. So you can see here that the petals sit upright. I didn't make too long of a slit. So for a petal that sits more upright, it does matter how much you're folding and gluing the flaps together, but also the slit that you make in the middle. So those are just some things to keep in mind if you're making your own flower. Alright, 1 layer done of the smallest petal. I have 1 more to go. these petals will sort of overlap each other now that there's a smaller area. It'll overlap. Just keep in mind you want them in between the previous, glued between the previous layer petals. Looking at this, I think I should have not done 2 layers of the smallest petal, or rather just 1 layer of that smallest petal and then go 1 size smaller, because they're kind of blending into each other, but it's fine still the way it is. What I want to do is cut out a circle for the center. I completely forgot to do that. Place that right in the middle. Now it's time to put that center that I made earlier in the middle, and it looks perfect. Again, if I were to do anything different, I might make this smaller, but I like the look of a big flower center. I would probably make this last layer of small petals just a tiny bit smaller. But overall, I really like the look of it, and I love this two-tone look. I might do it for more videos, just different styles maybe, but thank you so much for watching. Bye.